All right, so you want to get a grip on daily bias in Forex, huh? Well, you've brought us a really interesting video excerpt from the Inner Circle Trader on exactly that. Let's unpack this together and see how this whole idea of daily bias, they use the US dollar index and Euro USD as examples, how that could potentially give you an edge in your trading.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what's really cool about this approach is that it gives us like a more simplified way to look at support and resistance.
Yeah.
So like we're not just looking at every single high and low on the charts, we're really trying to focus on these key turning points, these swing highs and lows to kind of get a sense of the market's like short-term personality.
It's like we're trying to figure out what the market is thinking, like what its next move might be.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And those swing highs and lows on the daily chart, especially like in a range-bound market, can be really, really valuable clues.
And the video really emphasizes those moments where the market tried to break through a certain level, but then it hesitated, maybe even moved sideways a little bit, which we call consolidation, before ultimately reversing course.
Right, right. And it's those hesitation points, those swing highs and lows that we really want to pay attention to, because those are often areas where buying or selling pressure was strong enough to like stall the market's momentum, which could potentially signal a shift in sentiment.
Yeah, and the example they use in the video, the US dollar index, it really shows this in action. They break it down, show how once the price moved above a significant swing high, it kind of just kept, continued to rise until it hit that next major resistance level.
And that's a really important point here. It's not about guarantees, right? It's more about understanding the probabilities. By recognizing these key swing levels, you're essentially identifying potential zones where the market might reverse or where it might accelerate.
So it's all about stacking the odds in your favor. Now, this is where things got really interesting for me when they connect this whole US dollar index analysis to the USD pair.
Yeah, and this is where understanding currency correlations comes into play, right?
Right.
Because a stronger US dollar often means a weaker euro, so they tend to move in opposite directions.
Okay, so you kind of anticipate the USD to show us like a mirror image of what's happening with the dollar index.
Exactly. And the video actually walks through how during that same period, the USD consistently respected the previous day's low as a potential target. So this mirroring effect, it can be super powerful for traders who are, either trying to confirm their bias or maybe even anticipate some potential trading opportunities.
It's almost like they're like these currencies are engaged in this constant dance, constantly pushing and pulling against each other.
That's a great way to put it, yeah. It's like a dance, and understanding that dance, that interplay between the pairs, can really give you a leg up in your trading.
For sure. But then they throw in this curveball, right? They talk about these outside days.
Ah, yes, outside days.
Huh.
They can be a little counterintuitive at first glance, but once you get the hang of it, they can be pretty powerful signals, especially in a trending market, for continuation.
Okay, now for someone who might not be familiar with that term, what is an outside day? Break that down for us.
Yeah, so an outside day is basically when the price range of a particular trading day completely engulfs the range of the previous day's candle.
So imagine the market is kind of like stretching, like before it makes a big run.
Exactly. It's a good way to think about it. These outside days, they often represent like a surge in volatility. And what's really interesting is that an outside day that actually closes down in a market that's bullish
Yeah.
often doesn't mean a reversal. You know what I mean? It often can mean like a potential continuation of that uptrend.
Why is that? Like what's happening there?
Well, think about it. That big price range of an outside day can sometimes shake out those less committed traders, right? The ones who are maybe on the fence or had really tight stop loss orders. And that shaking out can then pave the way for more committed traders to jump in and really drive that price further in the direction of that trend.
So an outside day, especially if it closes kind of strong in the direction of that trend, could actually be a sign of strength.
Yeah, exactly. It's suggesting that the conviction of the buyers, if we're talking about an uptrend, is strong enough to not just absorb any of that selling pressure, but also to keep pushing that price higher.
Wow, okay, that's really interesting. So we've got these swing highs and lows giving us some areas of interest, this mirroring idea between currencies like the US dollar index and USD, these outside days that can actually be bullish even if they look bearish. Okay, so how do we bring all of this together? Like, what does this actually mean for someone sitting there looking at their trading platform, trying to make sense of it all?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And that's really where the rubber meets the road. It's about taking these individual clues, these puzzle pieces, and putting them together to paint a clearer picture of where the market might be headed next.
So we're like, what, Forex detectives? We're looking for clues to help us solve this mystery of where price might go.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it. We're gathering evidence.
Yeah.
Each swing high, each swing low, each outside day, each instance of currency correlation, it all adds to our understanding of the market dynamics.
And the more clues we have, the more confident we can be, right, in our analysis and our trading decisions. But what happens when, the market throws us a curveball?
Yeah.
What if it doesn't follow these rules we're talking about?
Well, that's where, risk management comes in and a healthy dose of caution. Because no trading strategy is perfect, right? The market is this complex beast. It's dynamic. Always got to be prepared for the unexpected.
Okay, so how do you balance that, right? The idea of following a system, like what we're talking about here with this daily bias approach, but then also being flexible, being adaptable when the market throws you a curveball.
Well, that's the art of trading, isn't it?
Yeah. It is. It is. It's a constant balancing act, for sure. But that's why I like this, this whole concept of daily bias. Because it's not about like, having a crystal ball, being able to predict the future with 100% certainty. It's about just kind of like trying to tilt the odds in your favor a little bit. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Understanding what the path of least resistance might be, at least for that day.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about recognizing those setups, those moments where the probabilities are kind of lining up with your analysis, and that allows you to, enter those trades with a little bit more confidence.
And I think a big part of that confidence comes from, not just blindly following signals, but like really understanding the why behind them. Like we were talking about, outside days being these potential continuation signals. But the video also mentions like the closing price within that outside day, how important that is.
Absolutely. Yeah, an outside day, if it's bullish, it engulfs the previous day, closes near the high, that's a much stronger signal than one that maybe closes, near the lows, even if they both engulf the previous day, right?
Yeah.
The close near the high is really showing you that buying momentum, whereas a close near the lows, maybe a little bit of hesitation, might be some weakness there.
Right. So it's like we're not just looking at the shape of the candle, we're also looking at its personality, like how much conviction is behind it.
Exactly. Exactly. It's not just about, recognizing a pattern on a chart. It's about, like you said, understanding the story that it's telling. What's the story about the buyers and sellers?
We got to read between the lines a little bit.
Precisely. Precisely. And sometimes those lines can be a little blurry, right?
Hmm.
Especially when you've got a lot of volatility. Maybe the market's not really sure what it wants to do. There's a lot of indecision.
Right. Like, what about those times when you see the market, it breaks through the previous day's high and low, you see these wild candles sometimes?
Yeah. Yeah. That's when those alarm bells got to start ringing a little bit, right? Because that type of move, that often means, a high degree of indecision. Could be a whipsaw. The market's just rapidly changing its mind. Got to be careful there. Maybe tighten up those stop loss orders.
So it's almost like the market saying, hey, hold on, not so fast. I haven't decided which way I'm going yet.
Exactly. Exactly. A little bit of patience, a little bit of observation in those moments rather than just, jumping in with both feet. And, something else that that the video touched on that I thought was interesting was, they talk about not getting too caught up in trying to perfectly time the bottom or the top.
Yeah, you're not going to nail it every time.
Exactly.
It's more about like, okay, based on my analysis, here's where I think the bias is. And now I'm just looking for an opportunity to enter the trade in line with that bias.
Exactly, yeah. Trying to pick the exact high or low,
Yeah.
that's a recipe for frustration and usually losses, right? We're not aiming for perfection. We're just looking for those trades where the probabilities are, like you said, aligned with our analysis.
And part of that means being patient, right? Like waiting for the setup to come to you, not chasing every single move in the market.
100%, yeah. Patience, it's such a virtue in trading,
Yeah.
even more so than in other aspects of life, I would say, right? It's really about, waiting for those quality setups and not just forcing trades that maybe don't really fit our strategy or, our risk management.
Right. Now, they focus mainly on the dollar index and Euro ASD in this video, but I mean, this whole idea, daily bias using those swing highs and lows, outside days, I mean, this applies to other currency pairs too, right?
For sure, yeah. The underlying principles, they're going to be the same. The specific dynamics of each pair might be a little bit different. The correlations might be a little different. But yeah, you can absolutely apply these concepts across different currency pairs.
So it's about like, taking these core ideas and then you kind of adapt it to your own trading style, right? The pairs you like to trade, your risk tolerance, all that good stuff.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the beauty of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
This video, this conversation, it's all about giving you that framework, those tools, those perspectives,
Mm-hmm.
and then you take those and you personalize them, you refine them based on what you're trying to accomplish as a trader.
Yeah, it's like learning the rules of the game so that you can then go out there and play your own game, develop your own strategies.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And just like with any game, right? The more you practice, the more experience you get. That's what's going to help you master these concepts. So,
Yeah.
don't be afraid to experiment, backtest these ideas, see how they work within your own trading plan.
Yeah. And speaking of backtesting, one question I had when I was watching this video was just like, how much historical data is enough, when you're trying to identify those swing highs and lows? Like, is it enough to just look at, a couple weeks of price action, or do you really need to be looking at like months, even years worth of data to really get a sense of how that pair behaves?
That is a fantastic question, and there is no right answer, right?
Yeah,
It's really going to depend. Some traders, they really like to focus on that recent price action. They feel like it's more relevant, to what's happening in the market right now. Others, they want that bigger picture.
right.
They want to see those longer term patterns. Maybe they're looking at months, years of data because they feel like that gives them a better understanding of the pair's, overall personality, the way it moves in cycles.
Right. So it's kind of like what resonates with you, what fits your time frame, your analytical approach.
Exactly. So experiment, try different look back periods, test different indicators, test different strategies, and just see what consistently gives you the best results for your own trading.
That's what makes it so fun, right?
It does. It does. It's a little bit of art, a little bit of science.
It's that constant learning. You're always adapting. You're always kind of like, evolving your approach.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think embracing that journey, the continuous pursuit of knowledge, that's key to becoming a consistently profitable trader.
For sure. Now, before we move on, I wanted to circle back to something we talked about earlier about that, mirroring effect. Remember how we were talking about the US dollar index and Euro USD, how they kind of tend to move in opposite directions? Do you think that same concept, can we apply that to other currency pairs? What about even other asset classes like commodities?
That's a great question. And yeah, a lot of traders, they really start to go down that rabbit hole. They
Hmm.
start looking at these correlations between different assets. And it makes sense, right? Because currencies, commodities, they don't just exist in a vacuum. There's all these things that are influencing them. Economic data, geopolitical events, global supply and demand. And those things can create some really interesting relationships between assets that you might not think are connected at first glance.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, we know the dollar and the euro, they often move in opposite directions. But there's got to be like other examples of that in the market, right? Where you've got this like kind of inverse relationship between two different instruments.
Yeah. And classic example is gold and the US dollar. Historically, they've often had this inverse relationship. So when the dollar is strong, gold tends to be weak and vice versa. But you got to be careful, right?
Yeah.
Because these relationships, they can change over time. It's not static.
It's not set in stone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you always got to stay updated. What are the current market dynamics? What are the correlations that are in play right now?
So it's like we're taking our detective work to the next level now, right? We're not just looking at one currency pair. We're looking at the broader market, trying to see like, those hidden connections, those patterns that might give us an edge.
I love that. Yeah. It's all about connecting the dots, right? You're piecing together the puzzle of the market one trade at a time.
Exactly, one trade at a time. And on that note, it really does leave us with a lot to think about, but that's a good thing, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Because a deep dive like this, it's not about giving you all the answers. It's more about, arming you with the right questions, giving you those tools so you can go out there and kind of like explore the market yourself with like a fresh set of eyes.
It's exactly. Think of this as your springboard,
Yeah.
We've unpacked a lot, right? Swing highs and lows, how currencies relate to each other, those outside days. And these are all really powerful concepts if you use them the right way. But the really exciting part, it starts when you take all this and you start applying it,
Yeah.
to your own trading on your own charts.
So to everyone listening out there, here's something I want you to think about as you kind of continue on your trading journey. This video, they were focused on identifying that daily bias, right? Which is super useful for like short-term trades, maybe even swing trading. But do you think you could use these same ideas on like a longer time frame? What if you looked at the swing highs and lows, say, on a weekly chart? Could that help you like identify those zones for like a longer term trade?
Now, that is a very interesting question. And it really speaks to how versatile these technical tools can be. because the core concepts, they don't change.
Yep.
It's just a matter of adapting them, right, to
Yeah.
your own style, your own goals as a trader.
Yeah, you got to find what works for you.
Exactly.
So keep those charts open, keep asking those questions, and
Correct.
never stop learning.
Never stop learning.
That's the name of the game.
It is.
All right, until next time, happy trading, everyone.
Happy trading.